Shawn Mendes was under a lot of speculation for his sexuality for many years. And recently, I believe Shawn Mendes was bullied into addressing his sexual orientation in front of millions of people because I think people on the internet are just insane, off their rocker insane. Recently, he did an interview with Interview Magazine, and they have this segment where they ask the celebrity to go through the screenshots in their camera roll. And when they posted this segment of Shawn Mendes going through his camera roll, everyone assumed it was proof that he's been gay all along. Okay. This is, I swear, people have been talking about Shawn Mendes' sexuality for years at this point. It's a whole pet community at this point. There's a niche community dedicated to analyzing Shawn Mendes' possible sexuality. I mean, and there is nothing you could say to convince these people that Shawn Mendes is straight.
I mean, I guess that's just another idea that people have a lot of time on their hands to talk about this type of stuff. This is what pop culture is to a certain type of stan. Despite
the fact that he has publicly dated women and only women ever in the public eye.
Also, it would only benefit him in today's pop music landscape to be gay.
Right.
So
it would only be beneficial to him to come out as a pop star who is gay. I mean, so why would he not if he were? But let's just take a look at this segment and see whether you think it's proof that he is gay.
What's up? I'm Shawn Mendes, and these are my screenshots. I think these are both David Beckham leaving the airport. Well, this is him at a party. This is a screenshot of, if you don't know who Alex Honnold is, he's the world's greatest climber. This is his hand. Those are the thickness of his fingers. You've never seen fingers that thick in your life, for sure. Here's another photo. I was trying to show my friend what he reminded me of one day. This is a photo of my other friend. This is what she reminded me of. These are dogs at the daycare that my dog was at. That's Frank. And that's Hiccup. Oh, here's a good photo of Brad Pitt when I was looking for a good jacket.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to give you today.
All right. So that's
so do you think there's proof in here that he's gay?
No pictures of hot women and
do all men have like screenshots of like hot chicks? Like you would open your camera roll and they're like, okay, Pamela Anderson.
All my screenshots are like tweets that I use to make posts.
I just have like Pepe me. I just have like frog memes and TikToks and cats. And selfies.
Or things
actually, you know what?
Or things I've asked ChatGPT that I wanted to save.
What would have been proof of Shawn Mendes' gayness is if his camera roll was full of selfies.
Yes.
So I think we just proved he's straight. But according to some deranged people online, that is not the case.
The shirt is a more...
Oh, well, okay. So he's wearing... If you're listening rather than watching, you can see that Shawn Mendes is wearing a cropped shirt in this video. Okay.
Maybe he's just bisexual.
I think
would that just be
straight men in 2024 are they're dressing like this.
They shouldn't be.
A lot of straight men in 2024 are giving gay vibes. It doesn't mean that they're gay, but it's now socially acceptable for straight men to wear a crop top. I wish it weren't, but I'm not saying, I just don't think that's proof that anyone is gay or anything.
They shouldn't though.
Here's what one Twitter user said. I am convinced Shawn Mendes found out he liked men late in his life and he won't come out because he doesn't want to give people the satisfaction of being right after years of denying it.
Okay, that might actually be an interesting argument.
He's just out of spite staying in the closet.
Yeah.
They replied to it, I actually think a similar thing happened with Harry Styles because he had years of people speculating on his sexuality. And now, even if he is queer, he doesn't want to verify it because he feels like he's still in competition with internet trolls from 8 years ago.
I mean, that's just a commentary on the divisive nature of like celebrity and the stan community that oddly enough keep them...
If you don't know about stan communities like this, congrats. Yeah. Because I think that there might be like some of the most mentally deranged people on the internet. You cannot convince them anything other than their story that they've made up in their head.
Yeah.
These are the Larrys. Have you heard of the Larrys?
No.
They were the Larrys were a subset of the One Direction fandom.
Okay.
Who were absolutely dead convinced that Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles were gay lovers.
Okay.
And bandmates.
Okay.
But they were convinced they were in a hidden relationship and that their gay relationship had to be hidden from the public because it was too taboo. It was too controversial at the time. It would have hurt their careers if they came out as gay. And these people, they were serious. Like they took every little screenshot, every little interaction, and they
overanalyzed
it was Charlie Day. Like they were connecting it all by rainbow yarn.
Yeah.
And there's also a subset of the Swiftie fandom called the Gaylors, who believe that Taylor Swift is a lesbian, and you cannot convince these people otherwise. Like anything, they analyze her lyrics looking for Easter eggs to prove that she's gay, and she's been hiding it for over a decade at this point. Like they're convinced. There's nothing you can do to bring them back into reality. I think it's like actually maybe like some kind of undiagnosed schizophrenia that they're suffering from, but it's like a collective thing.
I mean, I think the most interesting part of this is the fact that he felt that he needed to address it at all.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that so much of it, I guess it speaks to where fandoms sector off, whereas the people, if he was an actor, the people in this sphere would be like, oh, good for him. He doesn't need to address it. He doesn't need to make it part of his career. He's not using his identity to sell his work. Mm-hmm. But the fandom that surrounds him absolutely sees it as something that needs to be addressed, and to be consistently badgered about something that doesn't really play into your work or not. Like, are the people that are listening to his music like, I need to know whether this song is about a guy or a girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people cannot enjoy a movie or a song or a TV show or a book without connecting it to the lore and the Easter eggs and what it was based on. They can't just make it relate to their own experiences. They have to invade someone's privacy like this. Another person said, I used to be a staunch Shawn Mendes is heterosexual truther, but I can't defend this.
The video.
Who talks like this? Like, this is proof that Shawn Mendes is gay? Thankfully, there was one voice of reason saying, I didn't get it at first, and I used to do it too, but lately I've been feeling like speculating about someone's sexuality is very invasive. You can have your own thoughts, but voicing them publicly after someone has repeatedly stated their sexuality, it's borderline harassment.
I mean, maybe the idea here is that if he was actually gay, he would have like planted some photos that would make him look straight on his phone to share to make him look straight. That's the level of conspiracy they're on.
But then he would have selfies on his phone, so that would already be gay. Gay.
I feel bad for... Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't feel bad. I don't envy a celebrity who has a large following having to deal with people pontificating on things like this when they seem to have no desire to address it. I don't know what's actually worse. Fans, like, overwhelmingly bothering a celebrity about it when they won't talk about it, or celebrities who do talk about it and don't shut up about it.
Well, unfortunately, Shawn Mendes let these people win. And at a recent concert, he decided to publicly address the rumors about his sexuality. Let's take a look at that.
There's just been this thing about my sexuality, and people have been talking about it for so long, and I think it's kind of silly because I think sexuality is such a beautifully complex thing, and it's so hard to just put into boxes.
That is a very modern take. That is like the most modern take that's ever been taked before.
Yeah.
And and it always felt like such a intrusion on something very personal to me, something that I was figuring out in myself something that I had yet to discover and still have yet to discover. And, you know, writing this song felt really important to me because it felt like a moment where I could address it in a way that felt close to my heart. And, yeah, I guess I'm just speaking freely now because I just want to be able to be closer to everyone and just kind of be in my truth. And, you know, the real truth about my life and my sexuality is that, man, I'm just figuring it out like everyone.
Okay.
I don't really know sometimes, and I know other times.
That's okay. Here's the problem. He just got that reaction, which means he's going to lean into it because he knows that it's going to benefit him.
Did he say anything else?
And it feels really scary because we live in a society that has a lot to say about that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be really brave and just allow myself to be a human and feel things. And
It keeps getting worse. How does it keep getting worse? That was the most word salad I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, actually, what it is we have a very, very overtly complex view of these things now. It's not the black and white world. At least the world doesn't see it in the black and white way that it used to. And he legitimately doesn't know, which is where the word salad comes from. I feel bad for him that he has to, you know, address this live and discuss it.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to address it.
I feel bad that he was like bullied into
that
this,
he felt like he needed to address it.
He felt like he needed to address it.
It's super weird. People should be interested in him for his music, and they want to go to a concert to hear your music and hear you sing, not to hear you pontificate about, you know, who you want to have sex with. Like, that's so irrelevant.
He's gonna have a video where he makes a coming out as straight video, and it's gonna be really funny.
That would be great, but you know, this is just too much. Like, people do not deserve an explanation from you. They're not entitled to an explanation from you. That's crazy.
Shot says it's not complex. What I'm saying is that society at large now, especially younger generations, have a vastly different idea of sexuality than generations prior to them, and it's baked into the fandom of artists like this.
Well, I thought that this generation was the one that considers gender and sexuality to be a spectrum, and yet they are trying to force him into a category that he doesn't want to be in and has repeatedly said he's not a part of. And I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, you're just adding fuel to the fire at this point.
I guess the guy who packs it in and doesn't do his tour because of mental health reasons would struggle with something like that.
You will always hold that against Shawn Mendes. It's crazy because other people have done that.
I don't care.
Justin Bieber did it as well, but you only hold it against Shawn Mendes.
Justin Bieber shouldn't have done it either.
Chappell Roan did it. She called off a show to go to the VMAs.
She shouldn't have done it either.
But you still stan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the duality of man.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.